In this video, I want to look at some of the best ways to build a LEGO Star Wars Imperial army right now, which will get you the most by spending as little as possible. LEGO Star Wars army building is of course a very expensive hobby, as Star Wars is one of the most expensive themes in LEGO, with sets and minifigures all costing quite a lot. That said, if you have some money to spare that you want to put into building an Imperial army, there are some decent ways of doing that right now. The first part of this video is of course covering the different sets that are available right now that can enhance an Imperial army. These are all in variated prices and sizes, so this entirely depends on your budget, but they can be a good starting point. Both the Imperial Dropship vs Rebel Scout Speeder and the Boarding the Tantive 4 are fairly affordable sets that have a lot to offer, specifically for minifigures. Now, both of these sets do include some Rebel minifigures as well, but that is okay as they are pretty good as well if you want to build a Rebel army down the line too. But the main attraction of course is the Stormtrooper minifigures included. Despite their issues, this is what we have right now, so for modern day army builders, getting them in high quantities is very good. Plus, in the Tantive 4 hallway set, you get Darth Vader, which is a crucial part of any Imperial army as well. Another really good set that is available right now is the Star Destroyer. If you want to enhance your Imperial army with some ships, this is a great way to do it, but most people, especially when starting out, would rather opt for just the minifigures in their armies at first. This set does include 6 Imperial minifigures that could be great to add to your army, but if you are simply focusing on minifigures, paying $160 for this whole set might not be the best place to start. You could rather pay around $40 to $50 for all of these minifigures together on the aftermarket, even cheaper if you exclude the 2 officers, who each go for more than $10. 2 recently retired sets that you could manage to find at around retail price right now are the TIE Bomber released in 2023, as well as the Snowtrooper Battle Pack from 2022. Both these sets include great minifigures for an Imperial army, especially the Battle Pack, which is the easiest way of getting some Snowtroopers and a small speeder bike and a Scout Trooper, all for $20. 3 or 4 of these and you already have quite an army of Hoth-based Imperials, which is really nice. As for the TIE Bomber, this is just a great set and one of my favorite Star Wars sets ever released. This one would be a really good addition to your Imperial army, ship and minifigure wise. Of course, as a general rule for budget army building, looking at second-hand listings on something like Facebook Marketplace or other local yard sale types of things can get you some great sets and minifigures for a fraction of their price in brand new condition. A lot of people who just want to get rid of unused things might have some gems that would add a lot to your army, and would be the best way to get some older things without breaking the bank. Now, looking at some critical minifigures you will need for a good Imperial army that are fairly cheap and easy to obtain right now, I have to start with Darth Vader, perfect to lead your legions of troopers. As mentioned before, he appears in so many sets right now, and despite being such a sought after character, he is only worth around $6 in his newest and what I consider best version. If you have been collecting LEGO for a while, chances are that you have this minifigure in one of its forms. Palpatine is another crucial Imperial leader, mainly seen as the Emperor of the Galactic Empire that you would want in your army. His latest minifigure, seen in the 2023 Throne Room diorama set, is worth less than $8 right now, and some argue that there are better versions released before, but I think this one is still great. If you have been collecting LEGO Star Wars for a while, chances are you have some older versions as well, like I do. That would work very well too. Imperial officers of course are great additions as well, although they are not as easy to come by right now, as many of these minifigures can go upwards of $10, some of the named characters way more. One of the most popular officer type characters right now is Grand Admiral Thrawn, and recently we have seen a brand new version of this character that goes for around $15. This is definitely worth getting, as once the set retires, he will become more expensive very quickly, as seen with his previous minifigure that is worth around $90 in new condition. This is probably the best and easiest high-ranking officer to get, as someone like Grand Moff Tarkin, for instance, can cost you $40 in his tan outfit or over $100 in his Imperial Grey. And for someone starting their Imperial army on a budget, this might be a little bit too much. Now, finally looking at some troopers, which will act as the base of your army, let's look at some Stormtroopers. These dual molded troopers can go for around $6 according to Brickset, and if you are in countries such as the United States, many bricklink sellers should have this one in quite high quantities, making it easy to buy in bulk. Many would however want to opt for the 2014 design rather, but this could be a bit harder to find in large quantities right now and go upwards of $8. But if this is the route you would want to take, it could work, as they look much better in most cases. As I mentioned earlier, Snowtroopers are a great addition as well, and I personally managed to pick up a few of them the other day from a local seller for around $4 each. The current Snowtrooper minifigure just looks really good, and with the battle pack released a few years ago, this is definitely one of the easiest troopers to find in bulk. Scout Troopers are really fun too, and some of the minifigures that look the best right now, with the perfect dual molded helmet. Since the release of this new design in 2019, they have appeared in quite a few sets and decently easy to obtain. Different releases of this minifigure ranges between $4 to $10, so it might be a little bit harder to find in high quantities for the best price, but to be fair, you wouldn't need as many Scout Troopers as something like the simple Stormtrooper. There are several other minifigures that are more obscure and cool to add to an army in lesser numbers that could be good additions as well. TIE pilots are easy ones if you have some vehicles, but if you don't have any ships in your army, they aren't as necessary. The Imperial Mandalorians are fairly decent as well, but I wouldn't recommend getting them unless you'd like to have the Mandalorians from the set as well. A few years back, LEGO released the Artillery Trooper in the Armored Marauder, and for $15, this is a really nice Stormtrooper variant that could make a fine addition to your collection. And from older waves, such as Rogue One, there are several good troopers that would make really good characters to your army. But some, such as the Shore Troopers, can go upwards of $30, so that is not the best place to start. Right now it is fairly easy to obtain some good minifigures for an Imperial army, but as several of these good trooper minifigures from the past are quite expensive today, it makes it a bit harder to differentiate as much as you could back in the day. However, that might start to change real soon, and if Andor is a success, we might see a resurgence of Imperial-based sets with better minifigures. I definitely have high hopes for the future of LEGO Star Wars Imperials. Now, let me know what you think of this type of video, and then I will see you all in the next one. God bless you, and cheers.